Yeah, I think so. Let's see.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. So there's Jerry. Hello, world.
Well, we need to put it out there that we're live. And a link.
Yep. And I think, whoops. It's trying to go to Twitch, it looks like. Yep, and I see us here. Perfect. So I can keep an eye on comments here. That's perfect. I'm just going to do it all separately for now.
Where are they going to be commenting at?
Everywhere. Twitter. Let's see. Yeah, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube are the three. So I'm just pulling each one up separately until I can get that dashboard ready for that. Yep. And we are live on YouTube here as well. Sweet. Wonder if I can pop these out. Yeah, I can. Perfect. That'll help a ton. So I'll pop that out there. Now can I pop out this chat? No. Okay, perfect. That'll work. And then I know I can pop out the Twitch chat as well, so I'll just overlay. Pop out chat. Perfect. I could just like jokingly plug in my own thing and make my own.
Remember, everybody can hear you now.
Oh no, I know. We're just waiting for people to plug in. We have 3 viewers, and I think it's
3 viewers.
Me. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's me because I have all 3 pulled up.
Oh, okay. So you're the. Hey everyone, we have 3 viewers. We didn't tell y'all we were doing this tonight.
Oh, hey, look.
But we're going live. So if you want to see the world's greatest. I can't say that word because we're live. So
we'll just send you to sensitivity training.
Yeah, you can join and get you can hang out with all the other NASCAR drivers that are going through that right now. Say hi to Haley Deegan for us.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
All right, so we got about 18, 16 over on Twitter. Looks like we have a few on YouTube now. Got one on Twitch. That's probably me. So no biggie there.
Nobody follows me on Twitch.
Because you're not woke playing the latest video games, Jerry.
No, not yet. But I'm sitting in my iRacing sim.
You haven't gotten him hooked on Among Us yet?
No, what is that?
We need to get Jerry on Among Us so bad. All right.
I could just imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, are we ready to go?
Yeah, I think so. Everything's going great. We got a few people in, so let's do it.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Kickin Show. As you can tell, we are live, and that is a first for us. So I'm just going to say it's probably going to be a little bit chaotic. If somebody's going to screw it up, it'll probably be me, but that's okay. I'll take 100% responsibility. Joining us tonight, Justin Schuler at Master Control out on the left coast and making sure everything is working properly. Seth Eggert over in North Carolina. Zach Catanzariti is in his house, apartment, I guess, in North Carolina. And ta-da, we have Summer Bedgood, our managing editor, joining us for the first time ever.
Yeah.
The 21st episode of the Kickin Show, and Summer decides to come on.
Yes, obviously made the right decision the first time we come on live.
Yeah, there you go. It's awesome.
No pressure.
So,
it's right.
We're glad to hear you. For those out there that are watching, if you're watching on YouTube, watching on Twitter, wherever, or Twitch, like and follow, subscribe on YouTube. We're going to be doing some of these, not just shows, but we're going to be kind of doing some pop-in live videos throughout the season. But we want to give you guys a chance to see what we're about, who we are, and ask questions. You guys put it in there, put your questions in. Justin says he can let us know what you're saying because I can't see it. but we will do our best to ask him. But tonight, I'm going to kick off the show with Chili Bowl news. And I was up there. By the way, I've had, let's see, I got back Sunday. Today is what, Tuesday? I've had like 7 showers, jumped in a swimming pool, and I still have dirt in my eyes from being at the Chili Bowl.
Well, I was going to say, you've had the Chili Bowl, you've had the Tulsa Shootout. What's the next big dirt race you're going to do?
I don't know.
Bristol?
Whatever Ryder Wells goes to, that's probably the next big dirt race that I'm going to be going to. But Kyle Larson, going back to back, 2020, 2021, you're a Chili Bowl champ. So congratulations to him, man. And you talk about a heck of a race for the win. Christopher Bell put it out there. He was gaining on Larson. He really was, but the track was taking too long to widen out. He comes around 3. Next thing we know, he's flipping through the air into 4. He gets out of his car. He throws his steering wheel down, but he's okay. And he just said flat out, he couldn't hang on to it because he laid it all out there. So it was a great race. I had fun. My first ever Chili Bowl, my first ever Tulsa Shootout a few weeks ago. We will be going back, and don't be surprised if you see. Just like iRacing, if you see Kickin the Tires on a couple of cars. We know Ryder Wells will be out there, but maybe on somebody else's car too.
I was going to say, Jerry, you want to go around? And Aaron Bearden, by the way, says hello. Says, man, this gang seems pretty familiar.
Aaron used to work for us, and then he went off on his own, started his own, the Aaron Bearden Show. So we appreciate you tuning in, Eric, and thanks a lot. We miss you, man. Come back.
We love Aaron and his dank memes.
That's right. Hey,
and his puns.
I was going to say, we get his dad jokes on Twitter a little bit, so that's good.
Drink a Diet Coke. If anybody wants to let them know, we can work out a sponsorship arrangement here.
Points.
Yeah, I saw when it comes to Chris Bell, I definitely enjoyed that. I'm not even like a big dirt racing guy, but Chili Bowl is usually one of those big dirt races I try to watch every year, and it was really enjoyable. Didn't really enjoy that big gap between the B main and the A main. I think it was like after midnight or so on the East Coast.
It was, and in part that was due to the track prep, which
it was all track prep, yeah,
and which apparently the A main, according to some of the drivers, was the worst track conditions throughout the entire week.
Well, people don't know if you weren't there. I don't know if you actually saw it. Maybe you caught it on the video. But when Larson would go through 2 and 4, but specifically in 2, he would come around and the car would just bottom out. And there was a hole in 2, and he would lose all of his momentum. That's actually where Christopher Bell was making up time on him. The problem is they were both hitting the hole. They were running a very similar line. Yeah. Turn 2 was very degraded. It was falling apart. And when Bell came around, he got a run going into 3. He just couldn't hold it. Had he been able to hold on to it, I think Bell probably could have caught Larson. It would have been one heck of a show. It would have been a battle for the win down to the wire, or they'd have wrecked each other, one of the two. But it was very interesting. The track was not the best it could have been. As a matter of fact, I think Friday night the track was phenomenal. All through the event, it didn't get dusty. It didn't. It seemed to have a lot more raciness to it on Friday and early into Saturday. I think they let it get too dry during the Saturday, and they tried to fix it for the last A main there, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, there was too much moisture from what some people were saying, and at least the run of the night, I would say, would be Jason McDougall, who ran through the alphabet to a certain point. I think he started in the K main, I want to say it was.
He got all back there.
Yeah,
back there.
And he got all the way up to D main, was in the transfer spot, coming to the checkered flag, and got turned off of turn 4.
Ooh.
That was crazy. Yeah.
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 Now, I'll say this. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then Ricky Stenhouse, too, having quite an impressive run, getting all the way up from the C main to finish, 7th overall or something like that? So
that sounds about right.
That's pretty
nuts. Today he was they were in the studio today, the Fox studio, for preseason hangar day, and De Benedetto stopped It was like after the shoot, and he stopped and talked to Ricky. He's like, "Damn, you were moving. I was watching the whole time. You were freaking flying." And he's like, "Yeah, man, that track was crazy."
Talking about the Benedetto, he put on Twitter too. He wants to do the Chili Bowl next year.
Yeah, he's mentioned he's doing some sprint race or something. I kind of caught it. He was kind of further away, but he's doing some kind of sprint dirt race in Oklahoma, I think, somewhere. So, yeah, Ricky was trying to give him some pointers.
Summer, I was right down the road from you. I mean, I was in Tulsa. That's not too far from, Topeka or wherever.
Topeka, yeah. I tried to talk my husband into it, but we couldn't make it work. So maybe next year, because it's pretty close.
If you wanted to go, I would have gotten you guys a hotel. You should have let me know. I've got the one thing I had was frequent flyer miles and points. That whole trip was a points trip. That was the leftover from 2020. So you should have let me know you want to be there.
I mean, I kind of want to go when we're not dealing with COVID.
Well, I understand.
So hopefully next year we're past at least most of this and we can go and have like the full experience, because I watched some of it and it wasn't a full house, right? They didn't have as many people as normal.
It was 20.
It was a lot of people.
I think it was 20% capacity.
No way.
Yeah.
I think it was 20 or 25% capacity.
No.
Well, when I say 20 or 25% capacity, the spectators were 20 to 25%.
So what they did
and each team, I think, was supposed to be 20 to 25%.
Let me explain. How can you put a number on the number of people in the pits? Okay, pretty much anybody who came up could spend the $60 a day for the pit pass. Now, tickets in the stands is where they limited people, but people with pit passes could buy tickets in the stands as well. So they were spread out, but I would say it was more around in reality, probably the 50 to 60 mark as far as percentage wise, because they were using the whole back stretch. They were using the front stretch. They had the area where I was at in turns 3 and 4, and they were using the suites up at the top of the front stretch grandstands as well. So I think they would probably hit their 50%. Did they make as much money as they do in the past? No, but there was a lot of people there. Not like normal from what I was told from other drivers, because usually in the pits it's packed up and you can't hardly move. But there was a lot of people there. I did learn a couple things too, by the way. I learned how to smuggle. I don't drink beer, but I learned how to smuggle beer into the Chili Bowl. I'm not going to tell anybody how, because I'll get in trouble and then they won't be able to do it in the future.
And you're also not going to say who either.
And I'm not going to say who either. But I will say this. But
I'll say it live on 3 different platforms.
I don't care. I did try peanut butter whiskey, and I'm not a peanut butter fan. But yeah, I tried peanut butter whiskey at the Chili Bowl. So.
And?
It's interesting. Some people drank lots and lots of Fireball.
Some people. You mean like everyone not competing, probably?
Maybe even some people compete.
Right.
After they're done.
It was fun.
Sure.
It was like, even after, like on Friday night, there was some parties and stuff and hanging out and doing some stuff. And Saturday night, after everything was over, I don't think I got back to my hotel until about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, hanging out and really taking in the whole experience. So that was really cool. I'll go back and we didn't have media credentials. By the way, Kickin the Tires did not get media credentials. We just kind of, went in and did our own thing. And then I showed up at the media center and they said, "Who are you?" And I said, I kind of just needed some power to plug my computer in and recharge the batteries on my camera. So they let me. It was cool. I had a good time, and they were appreciative of the social media stuff that we did for them anyway. And Matt Weaver was there. Jacob Seelman was there. So.
And speaking of Jacob Seelman, I do want to give him a shout out. He got an award, 410 Co-Media Member of the Year from the Sprint Car Hall of Fame.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Jacob's a great guy and an asset to the sport of auto racing. So we're actually, I think, I'm pretty sure that you might read something about that at Kicking the Tires coming up. So if you're watching, Jacob,
Sweet.
the surprise is out. But Seth, what iRacing news do we have as we continue in the show? Does anybody have any other questions, by the way, or on any of the platforms, Twitch, YouTube, or Twitter?
Going once for questions, going twice for questions before we go on to iRacing.
We're good. Go for it. I'll chime in whenever somebody does.
The peanut butter whiskey probably really threw him off. So
Yeah, now we're down to one viewer.
Oh,
Well,
And it's you, right?
or it's Aaron.
That's right.
Well, for iRacing, Joe Gibbs Racing announced the drivers for their Joe Gibbs Gaming. They're part of their organization for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. Ray Alfala, the four-time champion, and rookie Femi Olot will be driving for the team. Olot will be taking the number 18 Interstate Batteries car, while Alfala takes the number 51 Rowdy Energy Drink car. In Monday Night Racing, it was a battle between Will Power and James Davison in Porsches at Mosport. James Davison won his second race in a row. I went off track 4 times and finished 24th. But I did also attempt to qualify for FTF's Grand National Series, their Daytona 500. In the Grand National Series, I was 61st in qualifying. So I failed to make the show, but I'll be in their consolation race. I am still working on finding out when that is. Made one mistake in qualifying. Had I run my practice lap, I would have qualified 9th.
Man.
So there's that. Their Daytona 500, I was mired back in like 71st or 75th, something like that.
How many cars are there?
Well, for their Grand National Series, they have 120 attempting. For their Daytona 500, they have 146.
Okay.
I got bumped out of the dual races, and I'm actually starting, I think, 35th in the C main, which I'd have to win that to get onto the LCQ and then finish in the top 3 in the LCQ to make the 500. So
No problem.
we'll see how that goes, considering the C main is only 25 laps.
hey, Ryder Wells made it through the LCQ at the Tulsa Shootout to make it and finish 19th in the A main, and he'd never been there. He was a rookie. You've got experience. I'm expecting better. You know.
Well, I'm not going to make excuses. I did not know the line for the Legacy Daytona, the bumpy version of Daytona that they have for 2008, and that's what FTF is using for their Daytona 500. So it's a razor-thin specific line, and I just didn't know. I did my best to replicate it, and I probably tried to avoid the bumps either too late and bottomed out or too early and lost speed. But hey, it's my first time attempting. Willing to try it. Giving it my best.
Aren't we sponsoring like 25,000 races that they're running this year or something?
I think you're sponsoring somewhere around 20. Also, a little bit of iRacing news, although not in the good form. Someone on Twitter found a group called Sim Dream Development, which makes mods for Assetto Corsa, R Factor 2. Has the M4 for sale, the BMW M4 GT3 car for sale, for Assetto Corsa, R Factor, and R Factor 2. However, that car is exclusive to iRacing. At least it's supposed to be.
So lawsuits will probably happen, huh?
Probably. And looking at their website, Sim Dream Development, pretty sure most of the stuff, I'm going to say allegedly because I've never heard of them before, but pretty sure most of their stuff is not originally theirs.
So possibly, just allegedly, could possibly be Russian hackers.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Chinese hackers.
or some group that figured something out that are trying to make money off of it.
Shocking. Someone's
Interesting.
trying to
Yeah.
exploit the internet to make money. All right. Well, that wraps it up for iRacing this week. Zach, ThorSport making some big announcements and a couple other big news events in your neck of the woods. What's going on?
Yeah, it's been pretty fun these last couple weeks or so when it comes to these small little news bits that kind of break out. I mean, it's typical every year. I mean, every time it hits January and February, you get all these new announcements for who's going to attempt the 500, who's going to be part-time, full-time, and this one was kind of a bit of a curveball. Obviously, ThorSport Racing in the Truck Series leaving Ford after a 3-year run. I wasn't sure if this was always the plan. I mean, 3 years then kind of cut the cord no matter what the success was like. But the success was pretty high these last 3 years for this team. I mean, we're talking 10 race wins, obviously the championship just 1 year ago with Crafton. With the exception of Johnny Sauter, who was a huge disappointment this year. I mean, they ran a really fine season. Grant Enfinger, I believe, had 4 wins. He made the championship 4. Crafton nearly made the Final 4. He won again. Ben Rhodes quietly had a career best season. He won a race, had career high top 5s, career high top 10s. It was just a balanced, really strong season for them. And it's pretty much what you expect from one of the most accomplished teams. But yeah, all of a sudden they're gonna have a new manufacturer for this season. We're not entirely sure who that's going to be. We're hearing that possibly Toyota. And that's why this might not be a bad thing because it's not really new ground for them. Toyota and ThorSport were together for many years, I believe 2012 to 2017. That's when Crafton got his back-to-back championships, which was historic, and they brought up a lot of young talent as well. So if it is Toyota and that's what they're doing, I can definitely see it to be a good move. Learning pains, I mean, sure. Does this kind of hurt the momentum that they built last year? Maybe not. I mean, sometimes manufacturer changes they don't really change anything except for the logo on the front bumper. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch. And what was the other news? Oh yeah, Josh Bilicki. Yeah, this was one of the many new faces that we're going to see full time this year or part time. And this was a neat one. Wickware Racing overall, that's the team he's going to be with in the 52, I believe. But they've just been blowing it up with these driver announcements. James Davison, he expects to be running about 2/3 of the season. Cody Ware is going to be full time. Derek Cope is going to run the Daytona 500 one final time this year. And then Josh is going to be full time. And he's a really good guy. He's treated me really well over the years. I'll say that. But he's a brilliant road course talent. I mean, we definitely saw that last year when he was running up front and leading at Road America and his home track, and then Daytona road course, numerous top 15s with very small equipment on road courses. But beyond road courses, he's developed a beneficial trait in most team owners' eyes, and that's that he doesn't tear up his cars. When he made that transition to Cup back in 2017, only a few Xfinity races under his belt. I mean, there was a lot of question marks. And he was a pretty obscure name to see just blown right into a Cup car. But just the years that have gone by, I mean, he went back to Xfinity, gained more experience there. And since 2019, he's done 32 Cup races with 0 DNFs due to crash damage. Wow. And I think he's definitely learned a thing or two from BJ McLeod in that area. He's been his off and on car owner for most of his career. And that's what BJ has been known for. So, yeah, with Josh, with over 100 starts now in the National Series, he's definitely proved to be able to stay out of the leader's way, stay out of trouble, and even have a strong suit when it comes to road courses. So there's a lot of positive with someone like him going to a small team for 2021.
Before we go to Summer and hear what she has to say, I want to point out that when I did some PR for one of the satellite teams that ThorSport had back in 2005, and they were Chevrolet. They were a Chevrolet-based team. My understanding is talking to some of the people over there, Duke Thorson, he wants to go fast. He wants to win championships. If it means making a wholesale change just so that they can go faster, he's all about it. So I don't know where they're going to end up. You're probably right with the Toyota lineup. So that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. They've been with everybody, so they ought to know who's the fastest. Summer, your debut. You're famous. What's going on in what are you following for coming up to the 2021 season?
So a couple more Daytona 500 announcements. It is that time of year, and we're getting closer and closer every day. So somebody that we had kind of been watching and wondering about if he was going to have a ride this season and if we were going to see him back in the Cup Series this year was Ty Dillon. After leaving Germain Racing at the end of last season due to sponsorship issues. And we found out, I believe it was earlier today, that he will have a ride at least in the Daytona 500. He will be driving for Gaunt Brothers Racing in the number 96 with sponsorship from Bass Pro Shops and Black Rifle Coffee. He'll be driving a Toyota for the first time in his career. He'd been with Chevrolet up to that point. Not a lot of surprise there, considering that his grandfather, Richard Childress, has been with Chevrolet for a long time, but he's now moving to the Toyota camp. If you remember, Gaunt Brothers had Daniel Suarez as their driver last season. He's actually moving to Trackhouse Racing, but he did run a full season with them last year. Fortunately, they did miss the Daytona 500 last season, so I don't know how well that spells for Ty Dillon, but maybe he'll be able to pull through and get them into the big show. They were able to make all the other races in 2020. It was just didn't start off very well. Ty's had a long career in the Cup Series. We say long, 162 races. It's fairly significant for someone his age. Not a lot of success, only a couple top fives here and there. So we'll see what he can do with them. Right now, the Gaunt Brothers Racing said they're mostly focused on super speedway races, so we expect them to not just be in Daytona 500, but also the Talladega races and then the Daytona race later in the year. And then potentially some road courses as well. So we don't know anything beyond that, but right now they're going to be in at least a handful of races at the super speedways and at the road courses. And more will come as far as sponsorship and things like that if anything further is announced. But so far, Ty Dillon will be in the Daytona 500, and we'll see where he winds up from there. I know that I was kind of hoping that he would get maybe a good ride in the Xfinity or the Truck Series. He's won a few races between those two series, so I thought maybe it'd be better for him to go back than continue to struggle in the Cup Series, especially with a team that, I mean, no offense to Gaunt Brothers Racing, they work very hard. Who knows what they'll do in the future, but it's doubtful that he'll be competitive with them. So, but we'll see what happens with them. And then who knows if maybe Ty picks up a ride here or there in the Truck Series or the Xfinity Series. So we'll see.
I think I want to say something real quick about Ty, because I talked to him about this, why he doesn't go race for his grandfather. He likes being away from the family fold, so to speak, and he likes where he was, with Germain. This is going to be interesting. I think he's fast enough to put that car in the show if they give him, a proper car. I think he can do it. There's a lot of people going to be trying out. Noah Gragson, is one of them as well. A lot of drivers trying to make the Daytona 500. So props to Ty. I'm glad he got something, because I know we've talked about it here on the show. But good updates with that. You also have another guy who's I guess he's probably locked in with the 77 car. But there's another driver going to try to be in the Daytona 500 as well.
Yeah, one of these drivers that thought his driving career was over and is going to be returning at least for a one-off, and that's Jamie McMurray. We've most recently seen him as an analyst with Fox Sports. But he's coming back. He will indeed be driving the number 77 for Spire Motorsports with sponsorship from Advent Health. The last time that we saw Jamie McMurray was in I believe it was the 2019 Daytona 500, which was also with Spire Motorsports. His last full-time season was in 2018. So it'll be good to see McMurray again. He's actually a very, very good super speedway driver. He has 7 career Cup Series wins, and 4 of them were at super speedways, with 2 at Daytona and 2 at Talladega. So who knows if he can position himself towards the end of the race. We might see him up front. I don't know that anyone would be surprised by that, and that would give Spire Motorsports some coverage and some exposure for their sponsor and Advent Health. So I always get a kick out of these guys that, step away from racing and they're all, I'm going to spend more time with my family. I'm going to, go travel more, what have you. And then they spend all their time in the studio or in the booth. And then we see them coming back every once in a while. But I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing some of these veterans get to kind of have the best of both worlds with not having a full-time schedule, but still being able to see them compete every once in a while. And I like these drivers that compete on the super speedways. We hear a lot of complaining from drivers about the super speedway races. And I kind of enjoy these drivers that seem to really love the challenge. And that seems to really fit their skill set. And Jamie McMurray definitely fits that description. So I'm glad that we're going to get to see him in the car again. Who knows what will happen after that. But that's yet another Daytona 500 announcement with someone that's a little more familiar to longtime race fans. And we'll see what he's able to do.
One question someone has here, is Jamie McMurray guaranteed in the Daytona 500 since he's a past winner compared to Ty Dillon, who has to qualify on time?
Well, not because he's a past winner, but because Spire does have a charter for the 77. Also, if you haven't already, McMurray did post a video on his Twitter account, him telling his kids he's going to run the 500. It is definitely worth the watch.
I'll have to check it out. Somebody, by the way, who does not like super speedway racing? And that's Tony Stewart. If you want some fun on YouTube, look up Tony Stewart Talladega crash.
Is that the one where he said turn into a figure eight?
Figure eight. Yeah, figure eight. And then run it backwards the other way, That's some quality Tony Stewart right there. And I do know that he's going to be down in Daytona, for the 500. My understanding is he's going to be down there. And then so that'll be interesting. Wish we could get him on the show. Hey, Tony, if you're watching, we want you on the show.
There you go.
So we'll see if we can make that happen. But Justin, it's down the road from me, and I haven't made it over there, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it after all. I was supposed to go over to Houston this weekend, but I'm not sure I can coordinate it with their logistics after talking to Sean. But what's going on in the motocross world? I want to be there for this race.
I was going to say, you're definitely missing round 2 right now. That's happening while we're live here. 250s racing right now, and then 450's going to race later.
Supercross is on right now, by the way. Yeah, don't go watch them. Watch us.
Yeah, watch us. DVR that, or
Zach's leaving.
You got it on Peacock. Oh, yeah, Zach's gone. Oh well, your part's done, Zach, so you're good. So opening round, and it's the first time in 25 years since Anaheim, or at least California, hasn't hosted the opening round for Supercross. So this is kind of a monumental day for Supercross. But ironically, it's been 25 years since the rider of the 450 class has won 3 in a row the opening round of Supercross. And now here we are 25 years later, and Justin Barcia wins the opening round for the 3rd time in a row. So that's his 5th career Supercross victory. He was able to edge out Ken Roczen by just over a second. They had some pretty good battles all around, but it ended up being Barcia leading all 28 laps and holding Ken Roczen off. And then Marvin Muskin finished out the podium. He actually grabbed the whole shot after qualifying 16th, so that was a really good start for him, and he was able to hold on to that for a top 3. Another article which I put up on the Kickin website just yesterday, which is kickintires.net. That's where you can go find all our stories. But Adam Cincerillo actually pretty quietly finished in 4th. Last year he had a pretty bad crash at Salt Lake City, the first round out there, and ended up having a back injury that pretty much ended his rookie season early, unfortunately. So coming back and finishing 4th pretty quietly, really good run for him. Last year's champion Eli Tomac actually had a couple run-ins throughout the race. and unfortunately wasn't able to really recover much. He ended up finishing 13th, and then the other battle that a lot of people were watching was between the two rookies of Chase Sexton and Dylan Ferrandis. Ferrandis getting the better of this first round, so that'll be a fun one to watch. And then over in the 250cc class, it's been 5 years, but Christian Craig finally gets the win once again. So he was absolutely emotional and all that stuff. So really good to see. Christian's a great guy, super down to earth, really nice, has a lot of fan base there. So really good to see him get the win there, holding off Austin Faulkner and Colt Nichols for the top 3 in the 250 class. So yeah, like I said, they're racing right now, round 2 at Houston, and then it'll be the 23rd for round 3 also at Houston. That's this Saturday, and then they'll be heading off to, I think, Indianapolis. Yeah, they got 3 rounds out in Indy, and then they're doing 2 in Orlando before their famous Daytona Beach mid-round, kind of their Pepsi 400 race, really, which is out at Daytona Beach. That'll be March 6th. So a lot of 2 and 3 round segments in a lot of different areas, but a lot of the West Coast races shut down because of COVID. So no Anaheim. There's going to be no San Diego, unfortunately. Doesn't look like they're having any out in Vegas or Ontario, and they did close out Glendale as well. So I'm bummed. I know Rachel's bummed. So we're going to see what we can do to make it out to Utah, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But that's where they're going to determine the champion for both 250 West, 250 East, and the 450 classes. So hopefully we'll get out there and get you guys up close and personal across all our social media.
Well, excellent. I appreciate you updating on that because, like I said, I want to go over there this weekend, and I had a great time covering the races, Supercross races last year in Tampa and then in Dallas, and it's been a lot of fun. You probably see behind me, next to the Kickin screen, Ally. It says Ally 400 right here. Ally announced today that they are going to be sponsoring the race at Nashville, the Nashville Super Speedway, and so that's really, they did it right. They sent us all, by the way, this came in a package. Thank you, Ally. They sent us a care package today, and because of that, you guys that are listening, reach out to us. I've got one. That's all I've got. But I'm going to give this away. This is a stress ball Nashville guitar with the Ally logo and the 400 on the back of it. So I'm going to give this to somebody, some lucky listener, somebody, chime in. We'll pick the winner when this is all over with tonight. But thanks to Ally for stepping up, sponsoring the race at Nashville Super Speedway. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I plan on being there and covering that event.
The catch.
You need to smash the guitar.
Yes,
Gary.
I was gonna say that's the catch. You need to post a video on Twitter smashing the guitar.
Yeah. Kyle Busch is already probably mad at me about what I said about Garrett Smithley on the plane the other day. If you missed my Twitter, Garrett Smithley was on my flight from Tulsa to Dallas. And I said, look, it's Garrett Smithley. He's the superstar NASCAR driver. He's so famous. Even Kyle Busch is always talking about him. So, yeah. Garrett was asleep. He may have had some fireball. I don't know. But his car didn't. He got knocked out early Saturday. He was like, poor guy. So he had to be there and race at 10 a.m. Saturday morning.
Oof.
And then after he got knocked out, because he didn't advance, started 8th, finished 8th in the shootout there. Then he stayed there all day. And then he stayed there all night because he was there late into the night with a bunch of other people like I was. But had a great time. Other news that we got going on, Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. You mentioned the Trackhouse Racing earlier, and Daniel Suarez. That's going to be partly owned by Pitbull. I guess he's a rapper. Is he? I'm not into Pitbull.
He is a rapper.
Y'all gave me this. Y'all gave me this to talk about because y'all want to make a fool out of me because I mean, I know who he is, and he's cool and all, and I know the song and Mr. Worldwide and all that, but I can't tell you anything else about him.
It is big either way that he is going to be involved in the sport. Same with you also have Scott Borchetta over in the Xfinity Series, starting a team, Big Machine Racing Team.
They have good vodka.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be sponsored by all of the Big Machine brands, which is the vodka, the hand sanitizer, and the music label and artists.
Do you need some Big Machine vodka? We can hook you up.
Is it peanut butter?
No, it's regular vodka. It's just straight up. But they may have flavored vodka. I'll talk to them. I know those guys. I'm familiar with their products.
Was it
Sure
Homestead one year?
Do what?
They gave out a lot at Homestead, I think.
Yeah, they gave out.
It was a lot.
And they usually sponsor Indy.
Yeah. Well, we got hand sanitizer last year. We didn't get vodka.
I said usually. I did say usually.
I need to find mine because it says on here, "Do not drink."
Shoot.
Oh man.
We might need extra protection when we go back to the racetrack.
It's something. Make sure that everybody stays safe and healthy. And I've been, look, we've got Kicking the Tires masks. Most everybody has one. Somewhere I'll have to get you one. But yeah, we had it made up, and you can wear your mask and go to the racetrack because NASCAR requires it, and you can rep the brand at the same time. So and be safe. Speaking
of safety, Jerry, I think we missed something a little earlier. Safety issue in ARCA.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about ARCA. Christian's not with us tonight. I can tell you what happened. Christian was going to be on the show tonight. Christian Coley joined us last week. He's the newest writer. He's specifically focused on the ARCA series, but his dog ate his headphones, so he couldn't get on because he couldn't hear anything and talk. So he's got to get some new headphones. Hopefully he'll join us next week. But yeah, Tanner Gray goes out. Tanner goes out and with his iPhone at 180 miles an hour on Daytona in the car, videoing around the track.
Yeah, live on Snapchat.
Yeah, live on Snapchat. Live. Hey guys, look at me. A, there's a rule against that. B, I don't think he got penalized enough.
He got lucky.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So $1,000 fine and probation. Ooh.
Brad Keselowski would like to revisit his fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Brad get fined for it? Because
I don't know, but he set
I don't
the
think
rule.
he did.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't matter. He set the rule. Now
Yeah.
I'll bet you everything. Brad's looking at that like,
Because he wasn't even moving. Brad wasn't even moving when that
No, it was
happened.
under red flag when what everyone knows Juan Pablo Montoya was good at.
Was sent back on track with a broken trailing arm by the crew chief.
And of course, around the 2 2/3 mile track, the one place it breaks is the one place there's a jet dryer. There is a God.
Hey, he lived. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
As did the jet dryer.
Look, Montoya's a great guy. He's really great away from the track, but he's not so nice in the garage. I gotta admit. But he gave us some excitement, and obviously we're still talking about it. So. But yeah,
I don't think we'll ever not be talking about it.
Dave Blaney doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, he's the one who doesn't want.
Negative. I wish they just ended it. That would have been awesome.
So I want to stick around for a little bit and see, are there any questions? I mean, we're live. This is your time you've got like 30 seconds to fire some questions off at us, and we'll answer anything. We don't care. It may not be the truth, but we'll answer it. General NASCAR for a little while.
Or it may be stuff that we know that we can't really say yet. But
y'all didn't catch that at all. It went completely over your head.
Nope, I went right by it. I went right by it on purpose. I know exactly what you set yourself up for.
I'm going to sensitivity training.
Oh man, yeah. Let us know what you guys think. It's our first episode live. Thanks for those that have tuned in. Aaron, if you're still with us, I think I've seen you chime in a little bit here and there. It keeps saying you're joining, but thanks for everyone that has tuned in and watched us. And if you are listening to the recording on a podcast, whether over on Apple or Spotify or Google Podcasts or wherever else you listen to your podcasts, we're usually live every either Tuesday or Wednesday night. We try to put it out whenever we're going live across our social media. It's just a little tough to get something in line on a consistent basis with Seth with all of his iRacing stuff. Me being on the West Coast out here in California.
Traveling.
And then obviously stuff comes up for Zach and Summer, and then obviously Jerry. Here we go. One question just coming in from Daniel Vinning. Who do you think will be the most improved driver in the 2021 NASCAR season?
Summer, what, you want to kick that off? You want to take that? Who do you think will be the most improved driver?
Well, for me, I would have to go with Bubba Wallace just because him moving from Richard Petty Motorsports to 2311 Racing. In part, it is a little bit of the equipment that the teams have, but at the same time, I think he'll improve quite a bit from where he was running.
Not sure. Don't know. I hadn't really thought. I think they'll go. I think the cars and equipment will be better. But I don't know if he technically counts for improvement.
That's fair.
Because he's been there for a while.
That's fair.
I'm thinking. I know Daniel. Maybe he's talking more along the rookie lines or who's coming in. But who wants to weigh in next? Summer, or you got anybody that you're in mind, or Zach?
Maybe
Yeah.
Christopher Bell is someone who came to mind for me. He's just somebody that's kind of blown our socks off in every single series he's ever been in, except for the Cup Series. So I would think as he gains more experience in the Cup Series and spends more time with his teammates who are still continuing to dominate on a regular basis, I hope that he's not another Daniel Suarez or Eric Jones that kind of peters out in the Cup Series and winds up having to seek a ride elsewhere. And I think he has the capability. I think he has the talent. I think we've seen that. So that'd be someone that I'd watch for potentially the most improved driver. Someone else that came to mind is Matt DiBenedetto. I think that we expected big things from him last year, and he did well. You know, I think he maybe could have been in the running for the most improved driver last year. But I think he's also someone we should continue to watch and see if he can actually, make it to victory lane, be up there more consistently with his Penske quasi teammates. So those are two that immediately came to mind that I think could potentially be in the running for that.
Yeah,
Zach, what about you?
One that I was thinking of DiBenedetto as well, but Ryan Blaney, which might surprise people. It's easier to pick people like him and DiBenedetto because they're with the same team from last year to this year, so it's kind of a more equal comparison. But yeah, with Blaney, he was so quick, right? He was incredibly fast, but he just had this knack of just getting into problems and the team making mistakes, him having a bad pit stop, a bad restart, crashing out of the lead, and he just had so many wins that, I think he led over 600 laps and only had that one Talladega win by half an inch. And that's how he won Talladega the year before, and then his Charlotte Volvo win. You have to go back to 2017 when he really won. I don't like the word legitimate. He won legitimately all these times. But you would have to go back to Pocono in 17, the last time he was out front, and he won a race. Nothing crazy happened. It wasn't Talladega. So last year he had so much potential, but I feel like he just had a lot of issues in many different ways. So I think this year, if he could just keep it together and bring those cars home, he's definitely going to be in the championship floor, I feel.
I do have to say this about Blaney, though. All of his wins, there's some sort of drama involved. In 17, it was him winning for the Wood brothers, holding off Harvick. 18, the Roval finish. 19 and 20 were both photo finishes.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of the Penske way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with some sort of drama. At least Blaney's drama is usually like fun and exciting. He's
Yeah.
not fighting with anybody, but still, just kind of the Penske way, just to have some other headline other than this driver wins. It's usually somebody else is pissed off, but
Yeah.
Blaney seems to have avoided that for now.
Justin, your thoughts before I weigh in?
Yeah, I was gonna say my pick would have to be Ross Chastain. I mean, he's gone from a lot of teams that are either starting parks or maybe mid-tier at best, and now he's with one of the best teams, obviously taking over Larson's ride for obvious reasons. And he's got a champion as a teammate. So I mean, there's no better opportunity for Ross right now than now. Do I see him winning a race? You know, I mean, how many people had Cole Custer picked to be the one rookie to win a race last year? So there's definitely always a possibility. But I know he's going to be able to get at least a few runs where he can definitely get a few top fives here and there. And I think for him, setting a goal of trying to at least make it into the playoffs, I think that's a very reasonable goal for him. So it'll be really exciting to see kind of what he's learned from those mid-tier teams and those starting park teams, and start applying whatever knowledge and advice he can get from Kurt Busch and from good old Chip to get that 42 car up towards the front. So, and then real quick before you go, Jerry, Daniel's pick, the one who originally asked us the question, he said his pick would be Larson. He can only go up from last year. So
That's true.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Larson's going to win probably 5 races this year, so that's. I mean, I would bet money. I will bet money Larson wins 5 races this year, if anybody wants to jump into that. And that's a pretty bold statement to win 5 races in one Cup season. So.
no,
my
top
pick-
fives, not win 5 races, top 5 finishes.
No, I said he's going to win. He's going to win 5 races.
Oh, okay. All right.
I said win.
All right.
I believe Larson will be in victory lane 5 times in 2021.
So if he wins 6 times, we win the bet.
Well, 5 or more. No,
You said five.
no, because that's the bet that I'm
Everyone's
going to.
watching too. So.
Daniel
I'm gonna
says he
cut it.
will
I'm-
not bet money because Jerry is always right.
I like Daniel. I like Daniel.
I said Benedetto was going to win the title last year.
Yeah, I did. I thought he was. I really did. He was on a roll. But my driver pick for most improved for this year is it's going to be a guy who last year had 3 top 5s, and his overall record looked like my stock portfolio for the past few weeks. It was up and down, up and down. Tyler Reddick.
Ooh,
Tyler
that's a
Reddick
good pick.
is a hell of a driver.
That's a
He's
good
a
pick.
wheelman. And, you know, I know for a fact from talking to Austin and Tyler and Kaz Gralla and all those guys at COTA when they were down here in Texas, they are working on their program at Richard Childress Racing. And I fully expect to see Tyler Reddick. I don't know if he can get to victory lane. I mean, he came in second at Texas behind his teammate. So I guess he was one away. He could have wrecked Austin, but that's not gonna do your career any good. But I don't think he has to do it that way. I think Tyler Reddick probably gets to victory lane at least one time this year, hopefully, since he's my pick. But I mean, yeah, 3 top 3s last year, or 3 top 5s last year, and the rest of the time he was across the board. So he would start good, end bad, start bad, end good. I just think this is going to be a breakout year for Reddick. So we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that question, Daniel. Great question. Obviously, we're going to have to wait for 36 races to see which one of us is the most right.
Actually,
So-
more than that, because I count the All-Star and the duels and all that other stuff as races too. So like 40 races.
Sounds good. But yeah, that's
Which is why I said Larson could get 5 wins in 2021. You didn't listen to what I said.
Yeah, you never said points races. So. although
Stretching.
Larson's not running the Clash, so that's 39 races. So it's technically one less.
Yeah, and so
And he's not locked into the All-Star race yet.
And he's not running the second duel. He can only run one.
yeah, you can only run one duel, so that's 38.
So
Yep.
37 to 38, yeah.
So
One duel
still
in the
think he gets
All-Star.
there. Can I count his Chili Bowl win?
No.
Well, since we're talking NASCAR, even though you didn't say NASCAR.
And
Yeah.
Cup Series.
I
too.
think I said in the Cup Series. So, but yeah, Larson's my pick to get 5 wins in the Cup Series this season.
Awesome.
Well, I guess that's it. We have been graced with the presence of Summer Bedgood. Hopefully, we didn't scare her off, and she'll come back in the future. She's our managing editor and tries to make sure that we don't sound stupid on when we put it out on the site. I know that
24/7 job.
yeah, I know. I was going to say you saved my butt several times. Seth, Zach, Justin, thanks for being on the show. Zach, you continue to keep doing what you're doing, hanging out with Leo DiCaprio and all that stuff. and Seth, I know you're gonna be our next iRacing star. And I'm gonna make Justin the new Hollywood producer out in California. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy 2 weeks for me because let's see, the FTF races coverage also this week and next week. Ryan Vargas is hosting a I think it's $1,800 per street stock race next week.
wow.
Then you have the Podium 500 Super Bowl Sunday.
I'll be at a party in Daytona watching the Super Bowl. So,
And you also have the eNASCAR Clash coming up at some point, which they haven't released the schedule yet, but since they typically try to follow the Cup schedule, I'm going to guess the Clash would be on the road course.
Okay, well let me give you a little tip real quick about For the Fans Racing. The sponsor of the race gets a sponsor's entry. So if you have any ringers that you want to put in the race, just use our sponsor entry to make it happen.
10-4. Well, I know we're not sponsoring the first 2 races, so
No, I couldn't get those, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
but I believe Nashville is the second round, and I'm not usually that good at Nashville, but depending on who's on the entry list for Nashville, I might talk to Justin about it.
Okay, we'll make it happen. That's going to do it here for us on the Kickin' Show. Thanks for tuning in to our first ever live show. I hope we didn't screw it up too bad. We'll see you guys next week.
Boom, and that's where the recording will end. So, yeah, like Jerry said, thanks for all y'all. Daniel, great question. Tell all your friends about us so we can get more than just me and you watching. Just kidding. I'm sure there's others out there. But yeah.
Oh, so we're still live right now.
Yeah, we're still live.
And
Uh-oh.
I'm recording separately.
Because I was
so
about
it's
to
nice.
say something. I'm glad you said that because I was about to say something.
Jerry
That's
was about to be like, man, our listeners suck.
Yeah, this
No, I
Daniel
was
guy.
not.
This Daniel guy with a dumb question.
What? Yeah.
I was just glad Daniel had a question. Thank you,
But-
Daniel. I'll send you your $5 later.
But something we can probably do going forward, maybe to try to have a little more fan interaction, is maybe at least for the YouTube videos, for them to put a comment with a question for the next week.
Hey, I'll take whatever we can get. Put comments, questions, and you guys are still watching, so don't forget there's a guitar you can slam. This is actually pretty cool. I'm almost not wanting to give it away because now that y'all talk about it, I didn't think about breaking the guitar. But, oh well.
Daniel, question for you. Do you follow the Kickin account? And if so, just because you're the first one to ask a question, go ahead and send me your address through our Kickin account, and I'll send you this little card pack, this driver card pack. This is from like 2002 or something like that, but it's got some really old kind of player cards or whatever. It's a pack of 4. It's got Dale Jr., Steve Park, Michael Waltrip, and Kevin Harvick, all when they're like super young. I don't know if you can really see him. My camera doesn't really autofocus, but
By the way, if you need to know, Daniel Vining owns Pixelated Speed. He's a photographer and covers a lot of short track stuff. So he's a really good photographer, better than me.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he gave.
I'll send you one of these packs, Daniel. Just send me your address. But just as a little thank you for hanging out with us and making the show a bit more interesting for everyone.
Yeah, he gave me a shout out earlier today. I had like 30 minutes or so before work this morning, before I had to clock in, and I was listening to SiriusXM NASCAR, and they were talking iRacing. So I called in just to talk iRacing.
Nice.
Well, there you go.
He says, "Yeah, I'm one of you guys." That's fine, man. Just send it. Just send me your address. I'll get you.
You count for this. That's okay. Well, we're going to sign off here, and we will. I think we're going to rejoin, just for the record, and privately. So log out, everybody, and we're gonna get back on just to chat for a minute.